Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Naturally Mar. Today we're going to be reviewing Put a Ring on It, Season 2, Episode 4. And before we get started, we know the drill. Please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button. And also hit that notification bell so you get the notices once I drop a video. Now we start back with the group being all together with Dr. Nicole. And we're waiting on LaRonda's answer to see if she wants to go on a second date with Sir James. Now, LaRonda does answer yes, she definitely wants to go on a date with Sir James. Instantly, you see that Sean stiffens up when she says that. And then he was just like, well, you can put all the candy that you want in front of her. It will give him a chance to see whether she'll choose him in the end. And LaRonda says to him, I always choose you. Sean then also says that he wants a second date with Brittany because he doesn't think that Brittany got a fair chance because he couldn't focus on his date with her. He was too focused on LaRonda being safe. And he said it's a yes with a capital Y, being all extra. And LaRonda was just like, sure, see where that takes you and vice versa, right? Now, Dr. Nicole is on point this episode. She's picking up all the foolishness. So she basically calls them out of all the nonverbals that they're doing, the eye rolling, etc. It's like a sense of jealousy with the dismissing. And she basically says, you're not winning unless both of you are on the same team looking out for each other. Basically, nobody wins when the family feuds. Now, since Eric and Alexia are not going on any dates, Dr. Nicole does tell them that they're going to have to take this time and focus on themselves and focus on what's going on in their relationship. Now, Erica and Jessica are talking in their car on their way back, just talking about the last session that they just had with Dr. Nicole. And Jessica feels like there's a lot of insecurities going on with people not wanting their significant other to go on dates, to go through the process. Jessica thought that this whole process would have been easy for her to go through, to go on the dates, but she's finding it a little bit difficult. And Eric is looking at her talking about the whole process is that she is rubbing the fact that she's going on a second date in his face. And Jessica thinks that Eric is a little jealous. And she likes that Clarence picks her brain, and it's not just on a sexual level. She likes the conversation that they have. Then we get to Darian and Alexia. They're at home and they're just having a general discussion about what's going on in their relationship. And Darian says he's not getting enough sex. Their sex life has just plummeted. It's little to none, I guess, depending on how she feels. And really, they have a condo that he goes to. And basically the condo is used for him, like, I guess, doing studio sessions with his friends and really the doghouse. So whenever they have an issue, he leaves and goes to the condo because that's the doghouse. Now, the condo is a problem. You might as well just sell the condo, sis, because sending him out of the house just because you're upset isn't a way of resolving the problems that you have. It's just creating more problems because you already have a lack of trust. When he's not communicating to you properly about where he's at or what he's doing or when he's coming home. And Alexia says that. She says that really there's too much gaps in his story. Like he said, I think it was during All-Star Weekend, she had a major problem because he was going to, I think, Waffle House or whatever. And it was like at 2 a.m. He contacted her and asked her if she wanted anything because he was going to Waffle House. And that he'd be home soon. He didn't show up until 8 o'clock in the morning. So for her, she's just like, well, what happened during that whole time gap where you said that you were going to Waffle House? So of course, she's expecting you to come home and you don't reach home until 8 a.m. Explain that. Alexia was very clear. She said that those situations, like when, and then when he eventually does come home, she's not going to give him any sex because she's upset. She doesn't trust what he was doing while he was out of the house. So no, he wasn't going to get any sex. And then Darian throws back at her that he doesn't feel comfortable with her quote unquote friends, that she has, her male friends, because he doesn't trust the male friends. He has all the trust in his Alexia, but he doesn't trust the guys that she's talking to that are her friends. And Alexia was just like, well, that person, I guess, well, they don't say any names, but she said, that person is very supportive of everything that she does. And basically saying that Darian isn't very, very supportive of the things that she does. And he feels a way when he sees guys put, heart emojis, heart eye emojis under her pictures. Let me tell you, social media will kill a relationship. So Darian and Kai have a fun date. They go go-karting. And he says in his confessional that he needs that feminine energy to soothe him. And since him and Alexia are have been arguing, he just needs that. Now, as they're putting on their helmets, you see Kai reminding him, hey, you're supposed to be helping me here. And Kai seems like she will put Darian in check. So if they were in a real relationship, I don't think she would put up with his foolishness, like his childish tantrums. I don't think they would last if they were to be in a relationship. Kai says in her confessionals, though, that if she wants Darian, she can have him. They finish with racing and set aside to talk, and they talk about Alexia and their relationship, and Kai was just like, oh, so she's still bothered about the situation. And Darian said this is because she's not trusting of him. And Kai asks Darian, if she tells you to stop going on dates with me, are you going to stop? And he said no, because it's a part of the process. He's going to keep thinking that he's going to go out on dates with Alexia because it's a part of the process, just using an excuse to keep going on dates with the same person. All right, Darian. So Kai believes that Darian is in love with Alexia just because of the way he speaks about her. Now, it's so interesting that now you're on a third date, and it's only now you're asking Kai about what she does for a living. So how much talking are you really getting done on your dates, Darian? Like, it doesn't seem like you've really been trying to get to know Kai. You've been doing what exactly? So Kai, states that she is opening up her own beauty bar, and she talks about when she hit rock bottom, and she has, 2 kids, and he likes that about her, that she has that drive. Now we see Sean go on his date with Brittany. Brittany actually invited him over to the studio so that he could see her as she's working. When he comes in, she's recording a song, and he instantly likes her voice. He's vibing in the back. And when she comes out, he asks her about the song, and she said it has some relevance to their situation. It was an original song. And he breaks out in a smile. He's having a good time. I think he does have some attraction to Brittany because she is another creative. And he asks a question that sometimes everybody hates to hear, why are you single? And she tells him that she's been focusing on her craft. And in her past relationships, they didn't really understand or support her career choice. Now, Brittany says to Sean, I feel like you're a person who can admit that you're wrong. And he says, he feels that sometimes waiting to apologize just takes time away for you to get to love on your mate. And he does state that he is a crier. And Brittany laughs because she's the same way, and she feels that they might be a too much alike. Um, he then feels that he does need to cut the date a little short because I guess he was liking it a little too much and thought that things could happen. So they said their goodbyes. We then get to Jessica's date with Clarence. Now they go to a gym. It looks like a small gym that they go to, and Clarence is a professional bodybuilder. Jessica likes him because she says that he is very respectful, gives her attention that she wants, and she doesn't really get that from Eric all the time. She likes that he flirts, but is respectful, even when he's flirting, and she likes his confidence. As they're doing like their little exercise with their deadlifts and stuff like that, they walk to do bikes, and he says that he hates cardio, and she's like, "Oh, you look like you're hot. Are you hot?" She gets him to take off his shirt, and then all we see is all of the muscles. And as she's touching his chest, she sees a tattoo that says the name Dana. She's like, "Who's Dana?" And he says, "Oh, that's my ex-wife." And then she's like, "Ah, okay, let's go and have a chat." So then they talk, and he said, he married when he was very young. He was about 23 years old when he got married, and they basically just grew to be different people and grew apart. And of course, there was a little bit of infidelity involved. Him being a bodybuilder, he wasn't always there. So then that caused problems in the relationship as well. And she asks Jessica, "Well, why aren't you married yet? Like, what's going on with your situation?" And she says, there, is communication issues within her relationship. And I guess she started to feel away. She felt a little bit uncomfortable talking about that. She felt that he should have been more focused on her and not on her relationship with Eric. Now, Alexia and Darian call Dr. Nicole in for a house visit. And Darian says Alexia feels he doesn't listen to her, that he feels that she thinks he's cheating. Alexia says she doesn't think that he's cheating, but that it's the picture that he paints that gives off that impression. She gives the example of the All-Star weekend and things that happen, and Darian basically has a tantrum, like he couldn't take hearing what she was saying and wasn't really giving her or Dr. Nicole a chance really to speak. Dr. Nicole even says to them that it seems like they were on 1,000 before she even got there. And the behavior that they displayed on this couch is something that they have mastered. But she wants to get down to what the root problem is between the two. Darian says that he feels that Alexia wants to get married, and because he's not doing it in the time frame that she has set out, that is what is causing the problem. Alexia says that, she's 34, most of her friends have gotten married, but she's ready to have kids and wants to get married. They live in a big house with just the two of them. And, anytime they start talking about kids, it says that he blows stuff out of proportion to avoid talking about kids and getting married. Darian says that, he does have 3 kids, and no, he didn't say that. Alexia was saying that, Darian has 3 kids with 2 baby mothers within their 14-year relationship. So I guess when he stepped out, he had the 3 kids. Well, you could see that causing some problems right there and some insecurities on her part. And she says she's not trying, she's not trying to go down that road. She's not trying to be another baby mama. And Darian says right now with their problems, he doesn't think that Alexia is marriage material. I was just like, wow, you're saying that she's not marriage material? So then why are you with her? Why have you wasted 14 years? Dr. Nicole says to them that they need to what they need to do is look at how do they respect each other, how do they listen, and how do they relate when they communicate, and gives them some things to work on. Now we see Sir James and Laranda go on their date, and they've gone bowling. Both are very, competitive and playful. Um, she then she asks him if he did put his hand on her lower back because she really didn't feel it. But of course, her partner Sean saw it and was bothered by it. And basically, he calls Sean the dragon because when they were having their first date, it felt like there was a dragon at the back of my head. So throughout the conversation, they were calling Sean the dragon. And now he said that his last relationship was about 4 years ago and he was cheated on. And she says that, Sean can be insecure. Basically, he wants to know where you're going, who you're going with, what time you're going, what time you're coming back. And Sir James was like, who wants to be in a relationship with their parent? She loves Sir James's confidence, so we'll see if he gets a third date. The group meets again with Dr. Nicole. And Alexia and Darian states that after Dr. Nicole left, they were able to calm down, talk to each other, and listen to each other. Now, they need to communicate so that the picture that they're painting is understood. Darian is still bothered by her male friends. And, Dr. Nicole basically told them that there are people that you have in your life who have your best interests and have your relationship at their best interest at heart. However, there's people that don't. And you need to be able to see if there are people and places and things that are causing separation or wedge in your relationship. You have got to handle yourself first and then handle that place, person, or thing. Erica and Jessica are talking about their lack of communication. And, Eric is the type of person who doesn't really want to put his problems all on a person. And they basically just go from the argument and then they skip the resolving the conflict and then go back the next day and everything is okay. Eric says that he doesn't feel like he can talk to Jessica about his problems, that she can't help him. And she's like, wait a minute, I give you advice. I give you advice, to help you out. And basically, he dismisses anything that she says because he says, well, the advice that she gives me is something that I've already thought about, so it's useless to me. Ouch. So to him, if it doesn't give him anything different, then it was useless. Well, Jessica was hurt by that. She's just like, well, then you're saying that you don't feel like you need to talk to me. And he's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. You're making that up. And Dr. Nicole's like, is she making that up? And she said, Dr. Nicole says to Eric that what he needs to do is create a space for Jessica to be necessary and that he needs to open up. Now, LaRonda talks about her date with Sir James. Their date was cool. She feels that he is handsome, but she felt that she was leading the combo on the date, and she would rather, not to always be the one to lead the conversation. And when she said, she doesn't think she wants a third date with Sir James, Sean's face lit up like he was all teat. And then Sean said that he did enjoy his date. He doesn't really trust himself, but has decided to go on another date with Brittany. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not too sure whether he did that to be a little bit petty, but he's chosen to go on another date. Now we get to Jessica. Now with her date, she said she did have fun on her date, but her date didn't really excite her as like when she's with Eric and he excites her. She likes to turn up. So she says no to the third date. She appreciates the fun and excitement that she gets when she's with Eric, and Eric gives her a kiss and he's very happy. Now, Darian, we get to Darian and Alexia. Darian said that, he enjoyed his date with Kai. And it was Dr. Nicole that asked him, is Kai someone who you could have seen yourself being in a relationship with? Darian says, if he had met Kai before Alexia, he could have been with her easy. What you said? What? Easy? You're going to disrespect your woman like that? My gosh, Jessica's facial expression said it all. And Alexia just looked pissed at that moment because she was just like, you say it so easy to say that it was easy within that amount of time that you spent with this person versus the 14 years ups and downs that you guys have gone through. All of a sudden it's so easy that you could see yourself being in a relationship with this person. Darian feels it's good for both of them that Kai is as challenging as she is. Now, Dr. Nicole says knowing what is going to push you forward or to pull you back to what is going to push you forward or pull you back to previous conversation. And he needs to be able to promote, it has to promote resolve. What you want is your actions to speak to resolve. Let me just say that again. So Dr. Nicole said that knowing what is going to push you forward or pull you back to previous conversations and promote unresolved. What you need to do is your actions need to speak to resolve. He says yes to a fourth date. Now, Alexia says to Dr. Nicole, or actually no, Alexia says in her confessional that she's not going to let him make her look like a fool. She's not going to let anybody make her look like a fool. Well, sis, you're already looking that way. And she says, do you know do you want to know what I really think? And Dr. Nicole says, yes. Alexia turns, says to Eric, move your feet. Eric moves his feet. Alexia stands up and proceeds to walk out of the building. I had to chuckle. I was just like, yes, Alexia, what you should have said was, I'm done. I'm done, Darian. And walk out of the building. If she walks out just to come back again, okay. Then what was the point of walking out? What you should have said then, if you're going to walk out just to come back, is I need a break. And then proceed to walk out of the room. However, we see that she walks out, and I think it was Eric that said to him, Darian, go get her, like go follow her. And as he's going out the door, he's like screaming out as she's walking down the driveway, why is this girl bothering you so much? Why is she bothering you so much? It's not Kai that is bothering her. It's how you're reacting and the things that are saying, which is bothering Alexia because it's disrespectful. You're not respecting the relationship that you're currently in. And that's the problem. So next week, we'll see, we'll see Alexia and Darian continue with their conversation outside in a truck. And we'll see where everything goes from there. Thank you for joining me today, watching the video. Please remember to hit that like button. If you haven't hit it now, hit it on your way out. Hit the subscribe button as well. And hit that notification bell. And I'll see you next time.